has directed me to come and deliver a speech on his behalf. So I will shortly read that speech by Mr. Mohamud on the subject of management of CDF and other devolved funds in the country. But before then, Wanarasugu has mentioned that I represent the Commission as the head of the EACC Western Kenya, covering the counties that are represented here today. Our office that is based in Bungoma has had various engagements with you in a number of ways. I have received delegations and individuals also come to consult or seek advisories on how to do certain things so that they do not violate the law. We have also had others visiting us for the purposes of recording statements regarding ongoing matters that we are investigating. But this is the first time that the board, through the Western Regional Office, has invited EACC to come and engage in this manner. And therefore, what we are doing today is part of the mandate of the Commission, because many Kenyans know EACC on the law enforcement side. It is important to appreciate that EACC also undertakes prevention of corruption. And one of the ways of doing so is by strengthening internal controls and accountability systems of public institutions so that they can do their work in accordance with the law. And therefore, will allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to deliver these remarks, being remarks by Abdi Mohamud, Secretary CEO of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, during this joint workshop for NG-CDF account managers, deputy county commissioners, sub-county accountants, and CDF committee members from the Western Kenya that is happening in Nakuru today, the Thursday, 12th of March 2026. The regional coordinator, the National Government Constituency Development Fund, Board Western Region, Deputy County Commissioners present, NG-CDF, Fund Account Managers and Committee members with us today, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. The EACC appreciates the invitation to join you in this important workshop, which brings together 350 NG-CDF officials involving fund account managers, deputy county commissioners, sub-county accountants, CDF committee members, drawn from 33 constituencies in the counties of Kakamega, Bungoma, Busia, and Vihiga. This initiative underscores the fact that fighting corruption is a responsibility not for law enforcement agencies alone, but one that every public entity must shoulder and abet in its operations. Today's forum, ladies and gentlemen, provides a crucial platform for NG-CDF administrators from the entire Western region that has 33 constituencies to engage the EACC on innovative, effective, and sustainable ways of addressing accountability deficits in the management of the CDF. It is anticipated that at the end of this workshop, you will return home to your respective constituencies armed with the new anti-corruption tools and a shared resolve to serve the people of the Western region in a more efficient, effective, and accountable manner. Ladies and gentlemen, we gather here today at a time when corruption is increasingly gaining prominence as a leading threat to the fabric of our society, and more critically, a major obstacle to the realization of the full potential
of the funds devolved to enhance service delivery at the grassroots, and the CDF is one of them. Without doubt, Kenyans continue to demand service delivery that is transparent, accountable, and free from theft. The CDF embodies the principle of devolution, and like other devolved funds, the CDF is central to Kenya's development because it is an instrument through which the government translates national aspirations into investment in roads, schools, health facilities, water systems, and other development initiatives at the grassroots level. The Commission notes that if well managed, therefore, the CDF has the potential to mitigate most challenges affecting the public through promotion of equitable development, poverty eradication, quality education, and the improvement of the quality of life for ordinary citizens. However, when these funds are misused or looted, the way it has happened in some of the constituencies, public trust is eroded, and the very development they were meant to achieve is tragically undermined. There is a growing belief among Kenyans that some public officials involved in the management of CDF, the National Government Affirmative Action Fund, GAV, and funds devolved to the counties have betrayed public trust and transformed their entrusted roles into opportunities for personal enrichment. Kenyans believe that such officials use their positions to benefit themselves, families, friends, and associates to the detriment of the very citizens they were appointed or elected to serve. From where we sit as EACC, these concerns are not unfounded. Indeed, from the reports of EACC itself, the Auditor General, parliamentary committees, and the investigative media, there is no doubt that while Kenyans' devolved funds, including CDF, have registered a tremendous transformation at the grassroots level, these funds have also been infiltrated by corrupt elements who see them as avenues for self-enrichment through looting. Therefore, as part of addressing this challenge, in line with our mandate, the Commission has taken up for investigation and other legal actions 67 reports relating to management of the NG-CDF in various constituencies across the country, and those investigations and other legal actions are at various stages of action within the criminal justice system. From the reports processed at EACC and the investigations undertaken so far, the Commission has been able to note that the most common forms of corruption and economic crimes in the management of NG-CDF include the following: conflict of interest, where some CDF officials award themselves contracts through proxy companies, procurement fraud, payment of kickbacks by contractors who are required to load the bribe amount on top of the cost of the project, extortion of contractors before payments are made for the work they have done, money laundering, embezzlement of public funds through payments for multiple projects. An example is where a CDF committee would make payment for a project that has already been undertaken by another agency and prepare paperwork purporting that it is a new project. Also, bursaries given to ghost students with the effect that the paperwork indicates that the students exist, yet it is a mechanism of using those funds for one's benefit. We have payments for services that are not rendered or goods that are not supplied at all. We also have ghost projects, inflated costs of projects, and diversion of funds to other purposes that are not intended. Among the matters under investigation by the Commission is a case in which a private contractor was, in the last 2 years, irregularly awarded 49 tenders and they paid over 66 million Kenya shillings from various NG-CDF committees and NGAV across 11 counties. Ladies and gentlemen, none of the CDF committees that are represented here today is immune to these challenges. Accordingly, this workshop is essential and timely because it seeks to equip you with the skills and the knowledge that you require in order to perform your duties in a manner that exhibits the responsibility and the accountability envisioned under the Constitution. This you should do even as EACC continues to investigate the reported cases. While we expect CDF managers and the committees to do their work in accordance with the law, the EACC will on its part continue to intensify action on the reported matters. The role of the Commission is to detect and illuminate malpractices in the management of public resources, dismantle the networks that facilitate corruption, and restore the integrity demanded by taxpayers through various strategic interventions. At the moment, besides the ongoing investigations for prosecution purposes for the matters that the Commission handles, EACC has deliberately intensified focus on the following areas. Number one, there is intensified focus on tracing and the recovery of unexplained wealth that is held by public officials who have used their positions to steal from the public and also corruptly acquired assets that are held by different individuals. We do this because people loot resources for the purposes of personal benefit, and therefore the belief of the Commission is that once we extinguish that benefit, then you will have diminished the motivation to steal that which belongs to the public. Where investigations establish that public officials, including those serving in the NG-CDF, have made or facilitated irregular or unlawful payments, the individuals culpable will be held to account and the funds recovered from those who wrongfully benefited. There are several cases where contractors and suppliers, in collusion with public officials, submit forged documents in order to win tenders. The law, including the jurisprudence from our courts, is that where a contractor or a supplier is awarded a tender fraudulently, all the monies paid from public coffers are recoverable in full, regardless of whether that person did the work or not, because that amounts to fraudulent acquisition of public property. So that is on the point of tracing and recovering unexplained wealth. Number two, the Commission has also intensified focus on bribery at service delivery points. And this is bribery at the various offices, sectors where the public get daily service. EACC has noted from the national surveys that it has conducted recently that bribery remains a leading form of corruption, bribery remains a leading form of corruption that has grave consequences to the ordinary mwananchi because it affects the ordinary citizen on a daily basis, and therefore, through targeted intelligence probes, EACC is increasing focus on those areas to ensure that citizens are not required to pay bribes in order to get service, or citizens are not denied service because they are not able to pay bribes or even kickbacks that are required by public officials. On the subject of bribery, the surveys undertaken by the Commission have also indicated that bribery on Kenyan roads remains a challenge, and it is for this reason that EACC urges Kenyans and the stakeholders to embrace the ongoing government initiative on instant traffic fine system, which the Commission believes has the potential to significantly reduce bribery and extortion on our roads and in effect improve road safety by reducing the accidents that occur due to poor enforcement of traffic laws. The Commission believes that by reducing the human interface in automated processes, such as that instant traffic fine system and the e-government procurement, the opportunities for corruption and extortion will diminish and reduce corrupt practices in a significant manner. Number 3, the Commission is also intensifying focus on monitoring capital-intensive projects. And this is through proactive investigations, so that instead of waiting until a project is completed, then later on unearth the corruption that took place in it. EACC is monitoring those projects all the way from budgeting throughout implementation, with a view to identifying, detecting, and disrupting corruption before it materializes. Finally, the fourth area where the Commission has intensified focus on, over and above the routine investigations, is in the systems review in public institutions, where the Commission continues to conduct corruption risk assessments with a view to detect, expose, and seal the loopholes that permit corruption. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, the Commission has very high expectations on you, noting that as the NG-CDF fund managers and the committee members, you are the persons entrusted with the primary responsibility of ensuring that the funds are utilized in accordance with the law. The CDF, or NG-CDF, was conceived as a vehicle to accelerate development at the constituency level, to ensure that national development efforts are aligned with local needs, to also bring governance closer to the people, and in order to realize this objective, all the persons entrusted with the responsibility of managing the NG-CDF, including all of us seated here, must ensure that every shilling is accounted for, every project is credible, and every decision is transparent. As the people on the driving seat, that is you, the fund account managers, you have a greater responsibility than the rest, because you are the guardians of public confidence at the constituencies that you serve. The decisions that you make on a daily basis affect countless families, impact schools where children study, clinics where our patients are treated, and the roads that connect families to opportunity. You must therefore carry this responsibility with a dedication to public good, and in doing so, your main duty is to ensure that every project that is implemented is legitimate, and that every payment that you make as the accounting officer is justified. As you carry out your duties, and I say this informed by some of the arguments that CDF officials make when they are caught on the wrong side of the law. As you discharge your duties, you are expected to always do the right thing and resist any undue influence or coercion or blackmail from any person in order to facilitate unlawful expenditure or engage in other breaches of the law. This is because you, being the accounting officer, the fund manager, and the CDF committee members, being the people with the legal obligation to drive that vehicle called the CDF fund, you will bear the legal consequences for any funds that are lost or for any public property that is not properly utilized. Certainly at the appropriate time, every person is called upon to account for their decisions and actions, regardless of whether they are in office or not. In conclusion, therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I note that the pursuit of accountable governance is a shared responsibility. It is not the responsibility of the CDF managers and committee members alone. We have other stakeholders in the process. For example, citizens are a key actor in that process, and in this regard, the Commission also urges citizens to always demand accountable utilization of their resources, participate in the established oversight mechanisms, and hold their leaders and the managers of their funds to account. On our part, the EACC will continue to intensify action towards reducing the space in which corruption flourishes, and we will continue to expand the space in which integrity can thrive. During the next session that is coming immediately after this speech, the expert facilitators from the Commission will engage you on various technical strategies that you can use to strengthen internal controls and corruption prevention in your respective